alternate universe, the bizarro world, the Twilight Zone. When it comes to football, they are all quite real, if only in the mind of Dave Damashek. This is not the NFL. This is the NFL.
It's a brand spanking new edition of the NFL with some playoff spice mixed in to make it extra tasty. Today, let's look at how RG3 could be wearing Oakland silver and black, becoming Al Davis's dream QB had Carson Palmer stayed healthy through the 2005 playoffs. We now know Cincy's dreams of a Lombardi collapsed early in the Odd 5 divisional round when Pittsburgh D lineman Kimo Van Olhoffen bonked Palmer in the knee, starting the Steelers on a Super Bowl run past the Colts, Broncos, and Seahawks. But what if Carson had dodged Kimo? Well, the number 3 seeded Bengals would have taken care of Pittsburgh, then headed a mile high, where they obviously take care of the Broncos. Why do I sound so confident? 2 words: Jake Plummer. After that, Cincy travels to Indy to play the top-seeded Colts. Peyton and company are an Edge James touchdown away from surviving Cincy's furious fourth-quarter comeback, but James fumbles at the goal line. Bengals corner Delta O'Neal scoops up the loose ball, avoids Manning's pitiful attempt at tackling around midfield, and goes all the way for the game-winning touchdown. To the Super Bowl go the Bengals to face Seattle's best football team. By night's end, Mike Holmgren lifts the Lombardi, Sean Alexander lifts the MVP trophy, and the city of Cincinnati lifts its spirits with the knowledge its team is poised to rule the AFC North for years to come. That deprives Bill Cowher of his long-coveted ring. He doesn't retire after the '06 season. Instead, hangs around for way too long. He's obsessed, don't you know? Like Ahab and Moby Dick, or that frowny chick with the English vampire in that Twilight hokum. Anywho, that cost Pittsburgh Cowher's heir apparent Mike Tomlin. Now, at that very same time on the West Coast, the Raiders are struggling badly, as anyone might, with Lane Kiffin as coach and Jamarcus Russell as QB. So Kiffin gets the boot after 2 years. Then Mike Tomlin, an under-the-radar defensive head coach, becomes the Raiders' head man, and over the next couple of years uses the overhead projector for good, designing a stout defense while the team adds a gaggle of speedy offensive weapons. They still lack a difference maker at QB, at least a positive difference maker. Yes, that was a shot at you, Kyle Bowler. And they're no longer able to get Carson Palmer, who's the king of the Queen City. So Oakland bides its time until the 2012 draft, where Heisman Trophy winner Robert Griffin III cuts the figure of a player Al Davis created in a lab. Think about it. Al loved 3 things: throwing the ball deep, speed, and Heisman Trophy winners, even if he didn't stay in love with them. Right, Marcus Allen? So the Raiders trade up to get the big-arm, fleet-footed Baylor star. The Raiders take off from day one, and RG3 is the story of the season, along with fellow rookie Andrew Luck, who goes to the Browns and takes them to the playoffs. Oops, did I not mention the fact that Andy Dalton went to the Colts in 2011? Oh, well, that's a story for another time. Like right now, the Raiders go to the playoffs where they play the Bengals. Cincy wins that game, but lose the following week to the Colts and their sophomore QB, Andy Dalton. Told you he'd come around. And that's that. Everybody's happy. Well, aside from Mike Shanahan, who gets shafted by the Raiders one last time. Hey, everyone can't come out on top, even in the NFL.
This is the NFL.